Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away, there was a young princess named Adelaide. Adelaide was kind and gentle, but she was also very lonely. Her parents, the king and queen, were always busy with their royal duties, and Adelaide had no friends her own age to play with. One day, Adelaide decided to explore the kingdom's gardens. As she wandered through the gardens, she came across a beautiful flower. It was unlike any flower she had ever seen before, with petals that shone like diamonds and a fragrance that was heavenly. Adelaide picked the flower and took it back to her room. She placed it in a vase and watched as its beauty filled the room. However, as night fell, something strange began to happen. The flower started to glow, and a faint humming sound filled the air. Adelaide was curious and a little frightened, so she decided to leave the flower in her room and go to sleep. The next morning, she woke up to find that the flower had wilted and turned black. She was saddened by its loss but decided to go about her day as usual. As she walked through the palace halls, she noticed that something was different. The walls were covered in vines, and the air was thick with the scent of decay. Adelaide knew something was wrong and ran to her parents to tell them what had happened. The king and queen were shocked to hear about the flower and the strange happenings in the palace. They called for the kingdom's wise woman, who was renowned for her knowledge of magic and healing. The wise woman examined the wilted flower and realized that it was no ordinary flower. It was a flower of great power, and it had been cursed by an evil sorcerer. The curse had spread throughout the palace, and if it wasn't broken soon, the kingdom would fall into ruin. The wise woman explained that the curse could only be broken by finding the sorcerer and defeating him. The king and queen were hesitant to send anyone on such a dangerous mission, but Adelaide was determined to help. She begged her parents to let her go on the quest to defeat the sorcerer and break the curse. They were hesitant at first, but Adelaide was determined and they eventually gave in. Adelaide set out on her journey, accompanied by her loyal pet fox, Finn. They traveled through treacherous forests and over rugged mountains, facing many challenges along the way. But Adelaide never gave up, and she remained determined to break the curse and save her kingdom. As they journeyed, Adelaide came across a band of traveling musicians. The musicians were skilled in magic and offered to help Adelaide defeat the sorcerer. Together, they continued their journey, and they finally arrived at the sorcerer's castle. The sorcerer was a powerful and evil man, and he was guarded by fierce beasts and dark magic. Adelaide and her companions fought bravely against the sorcerer's minions, but they were no match for his power. Just when all seemed lost, Adelaide remembered the wilted flower that had started it all. She realized that the flower had been a symbol of her loneliness and that her loneliness had allowed the sorcerer to curse her kingdom. With this realization, Adelaide's heart filled with love and compassion, and she found the strength to defeat the sorcerer. She broke his magic and the curse was lifted from the kingdom. Adelaide returned home to her kingdom, and her parents were overjoyed to see her safe and sound. The kingdom had been restored to its former glory, and the walls were once again bright and beautiful. Adelaide had discovered the true power of love and compassion, and she had saved her kingdom from ruin. She became a beloved queen and ruled with